Your haircut? Notice you've copied my beard.
All my brothers with beards, raise up your beards, let that thing grow out from ear to ear.
Hello, Heroclix land. Welcome back to Talkn Clix. As always, I'm your host, Wespool. With me tonight is Scott, son of John. Hello, Scott.
Good evening.
So, Scott, I've been a little worried about you, my friend. I think we need a
Uh-oh.
little AA meeting. So here's my AA. Hello, Aaron Albert.
Hello.
I'm
Not the
that,
Alcoholics Anonymous?
working on that joke all day.
Oh, I mean, I hadn't been in a while, so thought you're coming back for this chip.
That's the first time I've heard that one.
For those who don't know, Aaron used to be a player once upon a time. He took a hiatus from Heroclix, and I recently rediscovered him back during Black Panther last year, and he's been playing at my local venue with me most weekends. So we,
As much as I can.
yeah, as much as we can, schedules and whatnot. So he's one of my locals, one of my local tryhards.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
And do you try?
Not really anymore. I did when I played back in the day, but now I love having fun with the game and more than I do like the competitive side of things.
Awesome. I love the casual players. To me, that's where the bread and butter is the casual players. You might get more loud voices out of the competitive, but the casuals where you get the majority of the players.
I agree.
Yeah, Aaron, you are kind of known for, at least in our local groups, as very non-competitive. To where if we are playing for any kind of prizing, you're like, I'm out. So where do you draw the line of what you consider casual that you want to come and roll dice for, and where you are just, that's too competitive, I don't want to deal with it?
Pretty much if it's not a sealed event, it's like a constructed thing. I try and stay away from those for a couple of reasons. One of them being just getting back into the game. I don't have a lot of clicks to draw from. I'm still rebuilding my collection. The other part is I come from playing Warhammer 40,000 and Magic, and those, in my opinion, have just gone away from, especially 40K. It used to be a real casual beer and pretzels type game, as we would say, but now everything is all about tournament play, the ITC circuit, and all that stuff. And I'm older now. I've got a kid that is getting into playing and everything, and I just want a game to have fun with it. I love the story aspect of it. I grew up reading comics as a child, and then seeing these as action figures now that I can actually play a game with is pretty cool.
Awesome.
Nice. All right, I found my Facebook questions.
All right.
So McConnell Lamar would like to know, where do you play? So give a shout out to your store.
All right. Well, I play at a couple places. The main place I play is Tier 1 Games. It's in Lafayette, Indiana. And then I also play at another store called Blue Moon Comics. Blue Moon I played at during the day. The crew there, they're really awesome. They have a good venue and have great events. Same thing can be said for Tier 1 Games. They're more of as of right now, just a casual side of things. They haven't put on too many tournaments because we're actually just getting that area built up with that store. Because I've been playing, probably maybe 6-7 months now or something like that. So it's still in its infancy over at that store, but I go back and forth between the two.
All right. He also asks, what's your favorite format?
I would have to say sealed, because I like you don't know what's in the boosters before you open them, and being able to challenge myself to open those boosters and build some sort of team that does a little something. It may not be, like the best team. I don't have like a super rare or something like that, but seeing what I can do with what I'm given. I like that a little bit more than I do constructed because pretty much anybody can do constructed and build stuff off like a net list or whatever. But with sealed, you don't have that, and you guys, everybody shows up and they're basically on a level playing field when they start, and then just the fun of opening the new product and getting new maps and hanging with everybody at the store all day.
Well, now we have a few different versions of sealed. We have the traditional sealed where you have two boosters and build a 300-point team out of those two boosters. We have supercharged sealed, which is, I believe, two of one set and one booster of another. Is that right, Scott?
Yeah, generally it's two of the modern stuff and then one of something that's older.
And then we have battle royales. Um, do you have a preference of one over the others, or do you like just anything sealed?
As of right now, I've only done the one where it's the two boosters of the current thing. I would love to try some of the other because, like I said, I love sealed and I love branching out for, more variety.
I couldn't remember if
The
you were
battle
there for
royale.
the battle royale weekend I did or not.
I don't think I was available for that
Okay,
weekend.
that was
So
fun.
battle royales have changed in the last few years. Used to, you would get your battle royale booster, your pod set up of 4 guys, 3 to 4 guys, people. Sorry, I don't want to assume everybody's a guy. You sit in each corner of the map basically, and you open your booster. You take one piece out and you pass the booster off to the left. If the left is across from you, then the left is across from you. Y'all can figure it out. Y'all are pretty smart guys. Y'all can play Heroclix. You're gonna go around, take all the pieces out, and you play your game. For some sets, they want you to use the lower dials, not the high dials, like the colossal boosters that we would have if they had a colossal and other pieces in it. Used to, when a piece was KO'd, gone. Now, when a piece is KO'd, you can bring one piece back at the beginning of your next turn. So you're never truly out of a battle royal. I
Okay.
like that aspect of it because if you got the chase and everyone's like, "Oh, hey, dogpile and the chase guy," you're out pretty quick, and then you're gonna get the fourth pick in the draft.
I personally love the strategy involved in picking your pieces because you're opening a booster of five figures. You pick one and you pass the rest of the booster to your left. So, are you going to try to build a certain team together out of that one figure at a time? Or are you going to risk giving your opponent a really good figure, or just leave them in the trash? Are you going to pick a support figure or just a gargantuan attacker? Do you necessarily want the big brute that everybody's going to ignore because you can't kill it? Because it's all about points. So nobody's going to attack the 300-point Thanos because you can't
Oh,
kill it in the time
yeah,
allowed.
they will. Yeah, they will. So my mindset
That
whenever I go through a booster draft like that is I pick the highest point piece that comes to me. Wizkids has dedicated point values and slots for points. I don't know how their formula works, but if I get to choose a 300 point Thanos, yes, I'm taking it. If you want to pass me the 300 point Thanos, yes, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, we did. Me and a couple of guys, we did our own custom little thing because two of them are still into card playing, and so the one guy he built packs out of the cards for figures, and the very first pack was the 300 point Thanos from Collector's Trove. I saw that and I was like, "Ooh, mine!" And then I just picked whatever Asgardian I could find, or not Asgardian, Cosmic guy after that. So I put those into my sideline to draw powers from, and I swept through the whole thing with one figure.
But Thanos is gross, especially if you're playing like a Supremacy League that's pulp. Yeah, Thanos is a beast.
That's actually something I want to get into. I've never played Pulp. That's kind of
It
like
has
the
its
pauper
own
version of
meta.
Magic. What does?
It has its own meta for it. So it's usually once you figure out what the meta is for it, it's gonna be a usually when a new set drops out that it'll shift a little bit, but you can keep playing that same stuff over and over.
Okay.
Is there a right way to open a booster since we're talking about sealed?
Um, as in how you actually open it or how you pick
Yeah.
your booster?
How you open it?
Um, well, I used to Hulk smash into it all the time, but now that I'm more refined, I open it from the bottom. Yeah, I kind of when I pick them out, I kind of weigh them a little bit, and like if one feels like it's a little bit more, I'll wait to open that one to surprise everybody. But I just snap the tape at the bottom, and I'll pull out and be like, ooh, and just slide out one figure at a time. Yeah, oh, there's some cards. How about that?
Oh,
And then just keep
look at
going.
that, Wes. Another one for the good guys.
Nope, nope, nope.
Thank you, Aaron.
I need to start keeping a tally to see.
Yes, because I'm going to ask this question every episode. McConnell Lamar also wants to know what is the one figure you would like to make work in modern, but worry about its ability to do well.
Oh gosh, I can only talk to the times when I played. It's because I missed quite a bit. I would have to say one thing that I really, really love is the Infinity Gauntlet, the one from the series where it's the gauntlet, and each week you got a gym with a character. Because I loved playing that back in the day. Um,
It was really slow to make work.
it was. I was somewhat decent at it. There were a couple times I rolled for it and busted, but I got to learn that once you get down there towards the end, maybe not be so crazy to roll it. Just play with what you got. But it was really fun to play that. And well, I guess there's some of them are sort of coming in. The War of Light batteries and rings. I really loved that mechanic when I played it. That was actually the last um, like league series or tournament series, whatever they call it, that I played in. And I had a blast with it because the batteries were just so fun to play. And the
Yes.
black and white one was only available at a convention. And yeah, I see him
Yep.
there.
Thank you,
I
Aaron.
went.
Aaron's the
You're
reason I
welcome.
have these.
But yeah, I got to go to the convention that you could get the white and the black lantern from, and I was able to get one. Um, so yeah, those two were pretty fun. I'm not sure how you would make the gauntlet work now in modern because of how equipment rules and stuff. And back in the day, I guess it was considered a resource, not actual equipment. And
Well, while you were gone, there was two gauntlets that were equipment. They were in the I can't think of the set off the top of my head.
Black Panther
ABPI?
Illuminati.
Yeah, Black Panther, Avengers, Black Panther, Illuminati. All right, Wes, you got a question?
Yeah. So wanted to first of all, I want to say thank you to Aaron. When he got back into the game, I made a trade for him because I knew that Lanterns was coming out, and I hedged my bets that we might get some good legacies. So I traded him a whole bunch of modern stuff for a whole bunch of Lantern stuff, and it's like I have all these nice batteries. So thank you, Aaron.
you're welcome.
So I want to name call an old friend of yours, Cameron Avery. Do you remember him?
I do.
Yes. Apparently, you taught him how to play back in the day.
Yep. He's the son of a guy that I gained with back in the day. And I think it was actually Magic that I first kind of got him into playing games. And shortly after I learned to play, as like once I get into a game and I like it and I'm behind it, I will try and play it and introduce as many people as possible to it because the more people to play, the better. Um, and he actually saw it. So the very first, probably like 3 or 4 games that I played, me and a buddy of mine, we saw the boosters on the shelf, we bought them. We didn't know how to play. So what we did is we actually set up one of the Warhammer 40K boards, put the figures on that. So like if a figure had like a movement of 8, we would measure out 8 inches. If they had like a range of 5, that was a 5-inch range. So we would like move them like it was a tabletop game, and then use the powers and stuff like they did or like they were supposed to work. So that's how I learned. And then we found out that that's not how it works at all.
There's actually a
So
grid.
So once we started playing officially, then Cameron came over one day and he's like, "What is that?" Because I think he saw a couple of the figures from some comics that he read, and so I was like, "Well, this is the game. Let me show you how to play." And then he really, really got into it. Once I got back into it, he showed me some of his stuff, and he chose Ultron to be his figure to collect. So he has like every iteration of Ultron that they've ever produced, which I thought was kind of cool. I was like, I need to do that, but for Superman.
Yes.
Another Superman fan.
So you're kind of my Heroclix grandfather because you taught Cam how to play, and then in 2020, Cam taught me how to play.
Oh, how we've come full circle.
Right?
So I had a few questions on my Facebook page from.
All right, well, while you're looking it up, I'm still going through the ones that you posted. Yeah. Anthony Robinette, one of our former guests. What is one character you would like to see as a Clix form, any franchise that has not been Clixed yet? And what would you give them to make them special?
Oh goodness.
Yeah, that's a loaded question.
Yeah, it is. Cause
Are you a Power Rangers guy? You're gonna say Power Rangers, aren't you?
no, nope, not Power Rangers.
Smurfs. I love it.
Um, to be honest, I'd have to say Voltron
All right,
because I
which version? Because you have the cats and then you have the space.
um both.
The cats. You have to do the lions.
Oh yeah. You would okay, so I would do like um the characters, as their individual characters, but then you'd have the cat, but then it could be like piloted by one of the characters. Because I built a custom magic deck around this to where it had, the keys, the locations for like the lands and stuff like that, and then the characters you could sacrifice the character to pilot the vehicle, kind of thing. Before vehicles were like a thing in Magic. Um, so yeah, so something like that, kind of where you could play with the figures themselves. They had their own special abilities, but then like the colossal size thing would be like the cats, or actually Voltron himself, like a Galactus size thing or something like that.
Cool. Miguel Silva, one of our
He
recent guests.
wrong guy. Yeah, former guest, but he asked the wrong
Yep.
Aaron.
He thought you were a different Aaron, but so I'm going
I
to do a riff off that because if you know Aaron Morgan, he has a full luxurious beard. Who has a better beard? Which Aaron? Scott, I'm going to let you judge this one.
You gonna let me judge this? Well, he's got a microphone in front of his. Um, let's see. I'm gonna say yours may be a little more full, but Aaron, man, he's got his glossed up with oil and he's shiny and he's got his sharp and on point every time I see him. So I'm gonna have to go with Aaron.
All right.
Sorry, which Aaron? Morgan.
Aaron Morgan has a better beard.
I would have to go with Morgan too, because mine was trimmed. It was down to my navel at one point, but then I started getting it caught in power tools and burning things. So I trimmed it off. I've decided I want to grow it back because I didn't like how short I trimmed it. So yeah, so right now I'd have to go with his.
All right, AJ Kilgore. With the tabletop craze going on, with how Magic's booming with the, what is it, that Final Fantasy IP?
Yep.
What do you think of the same effect? What game do you think, or what IP would have the same effect for HeroClix?
Oh gosh.
Harry Potter, Star Wars, Final Fantasy, Voltron.
Well, I mean, each one of them is going to have their own following. It's really difficult, at least from my standpoint, to narrow it down to which one would be like the best overall, other than what I'm biased towards.
What are you biased towards?
Well, I played the Star Wars miniatures game, where it's similar to HeroClix in that it's a character and a card and a map with squares on it. So I would love to see that, ported over. But any of the stuff I grew up with, like Voltron, Transformers, GI Joe, um, I believe haven't they done Wrestle WWE or something like that?
Yes, they've done wrestling. They had Wave 2 pretty much locked in the barrel, but they never pulled the trigger on it. So
Okay, yeah, those would be the main ones that I would be interested in. Harry Potter, I don't. That would be an interesting set too. I'd probably get into that.
I feel like Harry Potter has kind of lost its luster. Its fan base has dwindled somewhat.
okay, what if you had like your own spin-off set? They've already done Lord of the Rings, so why not do the HBO show? Oh my God, what was the dragon show?
Oh,
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, they could do their whole Game of Thrones thing
there you
for
go.
years.
That that would be interesting. Yeah.
Mark Bird from Australia wants to know if you had a new player who said they wanted to buy a couple of iconics, which would you recommend and why?
Oh goodness. I'm actually kind of new to the Iconics. I bought in several. I've bought in English. I've bought several recently. I really like the Hall of Armor Iconics.
That's good.
Just because it introduced a new mechanic in the armor swap. I wish there were more armor variants than just what the 5 that are in that set that you could use. Um, but yeah, I've got a complete armor team built around that, and it's like all different Ironmans. It's the one Prime Iron Man from Collector's Trove, I think. The one that creates the sentries. Um, so I've really like stuff. I like a lot of themed stuff. So if I can get it to work with either a team I already have, or I can actually build something cool around it, I'll go for it. One I'm waiting for. Actually, I'm not sure if it's an Iconics or not, but the Heralds of Galactus, because I got my start with Galactic Guardians, and that was when they had the Colossal booster that came with it, and I ended up opening a Galactus, and that was extremely fun to play. That's actually how I won the Infinity Gauntlet series. Was playing him on his 300 point dial with a couple extra support pieces. Um, but the new set coming out has, because his dial, he actually had a Herald that you could choose,
You're
and
talking about, I know where you're going. Go
yeah,
ahead.
and I had was it Terrax, Silver Surfer, and either Firelord or Firestorm, the guy that had the staff with the flames on the end and he was all fire. That's the guys that I had to choose. So I'm kind of excited for it to come out so I can get it and see how much better that they've improved those guys.
Or powered them down so that you can put more on a team.
That too. That too.
This next question, I don't know if you'll be able to answer. Do you follow the unboxing series when they come out with new sets? All the
I've
leaks.
I viewed a couple of them. I haven't really seen any from the Lantern Legacy, like the videos, but I've been following stuff on Facebook and interjecting my own opinion on from where I came from with the War of Light stuff to what they're doing now.
Well, Mark wants to know if you think the Lantern Legacy has gone too far and made the set really hard to collect and complete. I don't know if we've seen enough of it to really tell.
Well,
Yeah,
I think he's highlighting the legacy cards himself because there's 22 of them plus the 8 batteries that they didn't show, or however many batteries there are. I can't count that high. Was it 9?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, 9 of them. Yeah. Um, well, I got there's two aspects to it. I do like that for this they are making the legacy cards more readily available as opposed to just one per brick. Now there's I think my friend said that they're putting them in the boosters now,
Yes.
so there's a chance to get some in boosters. Because if it was just one per brick, then Freudian slip there. That it would be almost impossible, and the cards would be so expensive that I wouldn't even try and collect any. Um, I don't have any batteries anymore, so I'm probably not going to try and collect them. Um, but the issue that I had, like back like in the War of Light set, was you needed the constructs to really make the batteries work, and I don't think that like they made those as readily available as they could have. I don't remember the exact disposition of whatever you got per booster, but I remember I had a really hard time trying to get constructs, and then then I actually got out of the game, and that set the constructs wasn't complete, so um, I was never able to actually complete that. I could see them, depending upon how they actually distribute those, that there's a potential for it being hard to collect. I don't ever remember the prices for anything really spiking back then because it wasn't, at least where we were at, there wasn't a huge online presence or anything for it, or like a market for it. Like, I don't know if I'm not saying it rightly, but the prices kind of stayed the same the whole time I was in. Whereas like now, I think I saw somebody that was looking for a lantern battery with all the constructs and a legacy card for like $75. And I was like, geez, I remember when I bought one of them back in the day, and it was like $20.
So the constructs, they came in a gravity feed. They had a whole set of just gravity feed for constructs. I think it had like 24 constructs in the box, and then you didn't know what was in it. You just randomly got what you got. You'd have to buy a case, which was 2 gravity feeds to get everything, or almost everything.
Okay, that because I went the opposite route for the batteries, and I don't know why I didn't know that they had those.
Some of the batteries, like the black and the white one, they should have came with everything, but the other colors were in the gravity feed. The
Yeah.
Green Lantern ones, some of them came with the monthly OP, I think.
Yes. Because I
Participation.
heavily played the green until I got enough of the blue stuff to play the blue lanterns. But yeah. Okay.
Well, now the from what we've seen, and we've only seen 2 full bricks. There could be a whole. We have no idea what they got coming, but we've only seen 4 constructs now: the sword, the chains,
That
bat, and Soundwave. So I don't know.
I don't expect a lot of constructs.
Yeah, they haven't said it. They said the Batman team up rings are modern again, but they haven't said anything about the constructs. So we still have yet to see what they're going to do with constructs. But the rings themselves aren't super construct heavy. They're more about the rings and what the rings allow you to do. So I don't think the constructs are going to play quite the heavy of the role as they used to.
I don't know.
That that would be
Time will tell.
yeah. That's gonna be interesting to see because I did keep a couple of the rings for my kid because he likes the red Spectre, and I kept the yellow ring for so I got Sinestro. Actually, I think I got him right here. Yeah, I got my nice little fancy Sinestro and the Superboy Prime, and I love those rings. That if they were already like the Yellow Lantern Corps, then they got a buff to everything, and then if they didn't, then they got this and this kind of thing. So I liked how they did that. I haven't seen any of the BTU rings yet, so I need to read up on those and see what those look like too to see things.
Basically, they let them call in a construct for free versus a power action.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because it was always tricky to get constructs
yeah.
in Warlight.
So I did something a little different this week with the community questions. I asked the community if they wanted to ask Scott and I anything.
Uh-oh.
And one of my number one fans, Mark Bird, asked me, when will I try lemon juice on vanilla ice cream? I'll be honest with you, I will try it the next time I have lemons and ice cream in the house at the same time.
Telling you,
I'm not
one
going
wedge.
on my way to try it, but I will try it.
All right. He also asked if you could pick a new Marvel set, what would you like to see?
So I've actually put a lot of thought into this because I want my knee-jerk reaction to want to say a Deadpool set, but apparently somebody at Wizkids hates Deadpool and they can't make a good one. Um, I I forgot that he said Marvel. So I thought about doing like almost like an iconic set of all of Stan Lee's cameos in the MCU.
That would be a
But
big iconic set because he was in so many movies.
but yeah, if it's going to be a Marvel set, I want to see Deadpool kills the MCU, kills the Marvel universe. I haven't read the full series yet, but I think that would be a fun one. But the set I really want to see is the amalgamation of DC and Marvel together.
The Amalgam Universe.
They've done it. I think it would be a great set. It's just a matter of getting the licensing to do both at the same time.
I would
All
agree
right.
with you on that.
Before I follow up with more of Mork's questions, Aaron, it looks like your hat says that you are a veteran.
Yes, I am.
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it. Thank you,
What's your nickname, or what was your nickname when you were in the service?
Bobby.
Bobby. How'd you
When
get
I
that?
when I got to my first duty station, I forgot what type of we were doing like a fun run or something, and they drug us through the mud and water and everything, and I jumped up out of the puddle and I was like, "Ah." And somebody thought that I looked like Bobby from King of the Hill, so
That's
so
terrible. Damn it,
that
Bobby.
well, damn it, Bobby. So
What
yeah, so I became Bobby.
what branch were you in?
Army. I don't know if
Good
yeah.
man.
All right,
Yeah.
so Mork's got a couple questions for me. Is my family actually associated with Johnson and Johnson? No, we are not. Unfortunately, I don't have the tap to that money line.
Have you done the genealogy test to know for
Yeah,
sure?
yeah, I've done the genealogy thing, and apparently I'm when I first did it, I was 1% from Congo Eastern Bantu people and a whole lot mishmash of Europe. Since they updated it and took away my African heritage, so it's just all Europe. So, um, and he asked me if I could pick a DC set, what would I like to see? I I don't know. I didn't like the Teen Titans set from years ago with all the team bases. I feel like that was one of the worst DC sets. So I'd like to see a new fleshed out Teen Titans set.
Yep. I
And not the
actually thought
cartoon.
I thought about that one too. I was like, man, that would be a good one to have.
And like I said, not the cartoon. I like the cartoon stuff. It was cool. It meshed well together, but I feel like it was hyper focused on just the cartoon. I feel like the Teen Titans genre can go everywhere, and then I can get a new Deathstroke also. That's not a bobblehead.
So, Aaron, how far back do you go into HeroClix?
Um, whenever Galactic Guardians was released, I'm not sure when that actually was. For some reason, I want to say that was around when the first MCU movies were coming out.
Like '08?
Um, around there, maybe. A few of the older pieces that I have, like one of the ones I have here on my desk is Avengers Prime. I remember from when I opened that. Um, I don't, because I remember playing from Galactic Guardians up through Chaos War, but I don't
Looking
quite.
up Galactic Guardians now, so give me a minute.
Yeah.
So, what made you decide to take a hiatus from it? And did you plan on coming back?
Um, at the time, I was single and not very financially stable, and I couldn't really keep up with the release schedule. Stuff has improved much in my personal life, to where I'm able to actually afford several different hobbies now. And I was digging through my old stuff from storage, and I came across the last vestiges of stuff that I had kept from my time playing, which was Avengers Prime, the Infinity Gauntlet.
So Galactic Guardians was 2012.
Okay, so yeah, that was about when I started then. What was the other thing? Like, it was a big thing. Oh, I kept my Mistress Death and my Chase Thanos from back then. That was my first. The Thanos was my first chase, and then I had a stupid team when it got around to it. That was Mistress Death, who was able to take the gauntlet, and I had Agent Coulson, 2 yellow AIM agents, 1 blue AIM agent, I think, and the Scarlet Witch from the Chaos War Fast Forces.
Fast Forces. That was really good.
Yep, and I just put them around her. One guy, we were playing on the Space Track map for the finals, and he had, I think it was called the Gamma Bomb, that it ticked down and then blew everything up.
We were
So
just
all
talking about
his
that.
yeah, all his stuff had stealth, so I just let it go, blew everything up, and he's like, haha, you can't see me. I'm like, haha, Mr. Death can see you. And he's like, crap.
It's over, Johnny.
Yeah, and when she gets on click 24, 25, or 26, it's over at that point.
Yo.
And then you came back just this past year.
Yep, with the Black Panther set.
So what brought you back? Just seeing it was still alive?
Yeah, a little bit. That and one of my buddies, Brian, at the game at Tier 1, he he got his hands on a collection at, I forget where it went. Oh no, he got a collection from somebody, and then the store manager, when he saw that we were interested in it, he actually got a bulk thing from a small time game shop convention and brought it back for us. And that was right before Black Panther came out. So I started trying to get some of the stuff that I had previous, but then remembered how much fun I had in War of Light. So when Black Panther came out, I started doing the seal that they were doing with that, and then playing in a couple of the constructed events and such. So it's one of those things that is easy for me to play. Because like with 40K, I mean, you've got suitcases of stuff that you have to lug around everywhere, where I have 3 teams in a small little toolbox that's, like made for home tools kind of thing. And then also the community I found is much better than a lot of the games I used to play, because it's nothing for somebody to say, hey, does anybody have this figure to trade? Or, hey, can I borrow this figure for this event kind of thing. And then when you're actually at events, it's not that I don't like going to events. I just don't like playing in them because, like I said, I'm more of a casual guy. But, I'll go and shoot the breeze with anybody, at any of the events as long as I can make it there.
Speaking of events, West has one lined up in November.
Yes, I do.
I heard that.
We're gearing up for it. And Aaron has said he plans on being there.
Yep. Yeah.
Since you got back into the game, it's safe to say that there's been a learning curve in
Yes.
readjusting to the new rules and the new maps and new interactions. What has that been like for you?
It's initially it was tough. I do love the new maps. Because in my opinion, a lot of the older maps, the big maps, were just too big for games. because you would face off like the red Spectre lantern. You know, he had a range of 12. You know, so he could reach halfway across the map. The new map size has been, in my opinion, a good improvement. The rule changes, um, there are some that I like, and then there's others that I don't like. But mostly it's just a matter of unlearning what I've learned to learn again. One thing I really love is that not only do I have the quick reference rule sheet for powers and stuff. Brian again, he printed off the whole entire comprehensive rules thing, and so we got it in a binder whenever we play. And then there's the Blue Moon Heroclix group that has been really good about answering questions and such. I mean, we'll be in the middle of a game, we'll snap a picture, put it to the group, and be like, help. And then, you know, within a few minutes or so, we'll get the answers and such. So it's initially it was kind of hard because, you know, me and Brian were both really basically learning at the same time. And I'm like, oh, hey, I got all this knowledge that'll be useful. Only to find out, wrong again.
Yeah. Every time I try and make a rules call, wrong again.
Yep. One thing I do wish they would do a better job on is, and I had this problem back then too, is I'm colorblind. So for the most part, a lot of the maps I can see like the different things because they have like you know, a stairway will have like noticeable different like look to it than like a platform. Um, but the thing like with hindering, how it's that green dash line, that I can see pretty good. But some of the maps have elevated terrain and then the blocking terrain, depending upon what it's going around or what's it's behind. Some of them I can't see, and then when they mix the two, it's totally it's just one solid line. I can't tell what is what. So one thing I have a lot of trouble with is the elevation changes, because for some reason, even though it has the white numbers in it, I don't know if it's just something that's wrong because I do have a cataract in one eye. If it's that, but I can't see those very well, so it makes it a little bit frustrating. But then again, because I play casual games, initially a lot of the guys that I play, they're like, "Oh, hey, are you sure about that?" You know, and they'll tell me, and so they let me walk it back, kind of thing. But that's put me into a thing. Before I do something, I'll be like, "So is this elevated or is this blocking?" You know, and so that's helped. I wish there was a better way for the maps to actually reflect that.
You probably never used Roll20 for the HeroClix game.
No.
The maps on Roll20 are very easy to navigate and see. I do like the artwork that they put on the maps. They put a lot of detail and work into these maps, but I feel like if they had just a blank one also to go along with it with just the color outlines, that would help people out a ton. Instead of looking at all the artwork, I mean, some of them are super confusing. The Age of Ultron map,
Oh my god.
that is chaos looking at that map. I love playing on that map because I know people hate looking at that map. So I try and get every advantage that I can because I'm cheap like that. But I play with it online. It doesn't have the same effect because all those squigglies aren't there. You give me a second, I can pull one out and show you.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, back in the day, we played. We take the maps and we get the Ultra Pro top loaders of that size.
Yep.
And I'd put those in there, and then I would take the like the silver and the gold Sharpie markers and do the doodles on top of that because it was permanent, so it wouldn't rub off. And that's how I struggle bust through those maps.
I'm so curious about your relearning a game from an old state to what the game is now. Does it feel like the same game, or does it feel like you're learning a completely different game?
I would say probably about 80 to 85% still the same game. Some of the mechanics, like the stuff, like with resources and stuff not working anymore, or like push damage and that stuff, and you know the Oh, I can't think what it was called.
No good for you.
The shield with the line through it, whatever that was
Indomitable,
back in the
yeah.
day. Indomitable, that's what it is. That no longer being the thing, because that was a huge strategy for a lot of the pieces that I played back then. Is push damage, like especially like with the Hulk that I had. It's that isn't really a bad change. It's just trying to, and it was easier for me to come to grips with that as opposed to, I'm trying to think because me and Brian had a long talk about one of them. Oh, I can't remember it, but it was one of the rules. Oh, telekinesis. That's what it was. Because when I played telekinesis, I would use, like, I remember playing this on the Shield helicarrier bridge, the Chase Doom flinging Doombots across the table. But then you couldn't act with them. So I started playing TK, and I would TK stuff and not do anything. And Brian's like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Because I can't. I TK'd him." He's like, "No, you're allowed to." And so then, I got into the rules and everything, and it's like, well, holy cow, that's true, you know. So being able to learn rules changes like that is where it comes into the whole I need to unlearn what I've learned, because I get in that mindset of I don't need to consult the power card because I know what it is, only to find out now I better look at the power card because I don't know what it is.
So resources and equipment, you can use both. So if you have the Infinity Gauntlet and you have, let's use the Bat Belt because they had the Resource Bat Belt. If you have the Resource Bat Belt and the Equipment Bat Belt or Utility Belt, which is the same thing basically, you can have both of them on the same character. So the old school Infinity Gauntlet versus the Equipment Infinity Gauntlet will stack. You can use them together. But you have to have them, and you got to be playing Golden Age.
That makes me very scared now because my son wants to play Kong with the Infinity Gauntlet and the Chase Thanos from Collector's Trove with all the gems against me.
Good luck. Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I have is Chair Panther.
No. You need some Beetlejuice on that.
In learning the new rules and the new way of playing, you've had to lean a lot on me specifically and Robbie McCants and Cameron and Devin. How have we done as more veteran players in educating you? Have we done a fair job of helping you not only learn the new rules, but how to understand them and why things are the way they are?
I'd say at that point, guys have actually been really, really good. Because I remember the what was it? It was the close. Because one of Brian's figures was trying to make a close attack, but two figures back in the day pinched line of sight, only to find out that that doesn't matter anymore. It's adjacency having to do it, and the way you guys explained that, and there was another one with the giant reach from an elevated position or something. Because I'm just sitting here like leaning on my hand, like brain's broken. How does this work? And then you guys actually went into that's how it works, but this is how it works, and you guys explained how it works in, I would say, layman's terms. You made it more understandable for me, as opposed to just being like, like I had to ask the other day what BTU meant on the thing, and they're like, "Oh, Batman team up." I'm like, should probably have a sheet of acronyms I need to write down so I know these things. But yeah, you guys have done a really good job. Like, I turn to the group more than I do to checking online, because for a while there I was checking online. Then I started doing the Ask Google thing, only to find out that Google says yes, and this is why. And then the group's like, well, no, Google's wrong because it's no, and this is why. So
Yeah.
now I just go straight to the group.
Your locals should usually point you in the right direction, so that's good on them. Good job, Wes.
Thank you. Do you have any other general questions before we jump into the questionnaire?
Um, Nothing off the top of my head's poking out right now. I'm kind of lame this weekend. Had a lot of work outside, so
Just this weekend?
okay. Every weekend.
Okay, I do want to give Scott his props. If you're listening to this, Emily and Mark, Scott has a shirt on that says "Brains are awesome."
I
What?
wish everyone had one.
Yes. Scott challenged Aaron and I to a intelligence questionnaire this week.
It's a Mensa intelligence questionnaire, but it was a pattern recognition, is what I saw it as.
Yeah. And
Did you take it, Aaron?
No, I haven't taken it yet.
but Scott scored 18 points higher than me on the IQ test. So congratulations, you are the smarter ass.
Noteworthy.
So now if I have to defer to you on anything and say it's your fault that you taught me wrong or something.
And I got it wrong? Yeah, that's fine. Everyone at the shop does it too whenever they ask rules questions.
All right, so Aaron, on our show we have what we call the Clix questionnaire. It is a scientifically proven, AI generated. I talked to the Kevin from the She-Hulk show, and he helped me generate these questions because the community has gotten to know you a little bit over the course of this show. People that used to play the game know your name. I've heard your name before I even started playing, but they don't really know you. So we developed a Clix questionnaire to really get to know you inside and out. Are you brave enough to answer these questions?
Let's do it.
Cake or pie?
Neither.
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 What's your
I
dessert
like
choice?
Cherry crisp.
Do
Interesting.
you prefer your milk with pulp?
Milk? Ugh.
Yeah.
With pulp? Ew.
Yeah.
That's ew. No. What?
Okay, how about your orange juice? With or without pulp?
Pulp free.
Same as your milk.
Yes.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What flavor is the jelly?
Strawberry or raspberry seedless.
Ooh.
Would you put marshmallow fluff on your PB&J?
You were darn tootin', I would.
No. No.
Would you toast said sandwich?
Haven't tried that. Guess what I'm having for lunch tomorrow.
Toasted PB&J?
You darn know it.
All right, I actually have something for Scott on this one. You have gone on and on about how probability control is named incorrectly. It should be possibility
correct.
control. Correct?
Correct.
Why is grilled cheese called grilled cheese when it's the bread that's grilled, not the cheese itself?
Because it's grilled on a griddle slash pan. That's
Yes,
the formula.
it's a-
of cooking.
Cheese sandwich grilled.
Yes.
All right.
So let's just simplify it and call it grilled cheese.
Well, you are smarter than me, so I thought I was going to stump you on that one. All right, back to the questions. Aaron, which Lantern Corps would you be introduced to or inducted into?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, definitely not green because I have no willpower whatsoever. I'd have to say red because I have a bad temper at times.
I was going to say,
He's
if
a
you
red
say
guy.
anything but red, you're wrong.
How old are you, Aaron?
I'll be 46 next Wednesday.
Okay. Mandated, you have to go out with one of the Golden Girls. At least one. Who you taking out on a date?
Ma.
Ma? Excellent choice. She knows what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the best James Bond?
See if I remember who all they were. I'm kidding. Sir John Connery.
Very good.
I'm gonna continue to fight you on this. It was Roger Moore. He did more movies as James Bond. Period.
He
More
did
is
more,
not better.
but yeah, Moore did
Apparently,
more. But
Moore was
cardboard.
better because the company wanted him back again as Moore.
Well, he appealed to the ladies at that time.
Excellent. Um, which one of the A team would you have a drink with?
Only one?
Only one. I mean, you can have all four, I guess, but
I would have to say um, Murdoch, because I'm crazy as him. But I also resonate more with BA because did you try and get me on an airplane, see what happens?
All right, you've been out of the army for a few years now. Do you still make your bed every morning?
No, but I do polish my boots still and religiously clean something else.
bath towel, crumple or fold.
What?
Bath towel. When you get out, do you crumple it up, just hang it up in a wad, or you fold it up, hang it up properly, or you just goes into
Yep.
just dirty clothes pile?
Go straight to dirty clothes pile. Now here, actually, I got a question for Scott.
Uh-oh.
So when you get out of the shower, the bath, or whatever, you dry off with a towel. Is the towel now dirty or is it clean?
I reuse my towels because I see that as the cleanest time the towel is gonna. I'm gonna be the cleanest when I get out of that shower, so I just take that damp towel, hang it up, fold it up, whatever I need to do. If I have the fold up rod, I'm gonna fold it up. If it's not a fold up rod, it's just a hook. I'm gonna hang it up.
Okay.
I mean, I understand that, like shower or bath.
Well, me physically right now, I have to do showers. I was recently diagnosed with a syndrome and I'm still healing from it, so I have to sit in a chair
Okay, so why not a bath?
because the chair sits up out of the tub.
Okay, so a bath is nothing but asshole soup.
I get where you're coming from.
Okay,
I
so
got
why
you.
not reuse the bath towel? I'm gonna sit there and marinate with it.
What is your biggest superstition in Heroclix?
Oh, that's an easy one. Dice.
So if you had two dice in front of you, and you get to roll. Is it gonna be a crit hit or crit miss?
Knowing my luck, probably a crit miss. But I use the same dice no matter what.
Believe
We
in
got
part of
one.
the dice, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yep. We got one guy in our group that he'll go through 4 or 5 pairs of dice in a game, and for all that I've ever played, I've used uh, the well, I guess I can't say that. In Galactic Guardians, I used started with regular dice. Then when the War of Light came along, is when I first started using theme dice. So I used the Green Lantern dice, and then when I first started this time, a buddy of mine, Brian, he had a couple extra dice packs of some dice from Gen Con last year, so he gave me a pair of those, and I've been using those ever since.
You need to get you one
Probably
of
won't
these.
change.
This is a dice popper. Apparently, they're the new red, the new, the new it thing.
No.
No,
You bring
yeah,
those to my
I don't find
venue,
it
I
to be
will
very
kick you
good.
out.
I don't believe it to be very good. Like they don't pop very much. I feel like one of them's always on a one.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do it 3 times rapidly, but it's so annoying. No.
So why not just pick it up and shake it?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, oh, it's an 8. Oh, it's a 4.
On the most recent episode of the Generation Clix, they suggested putting the dice poppers in a dice cup. I'm not sure
Oh,
how
so you
that
slam the
works.
dice cup down? You need a way bigger cup for these dice poppers, though.
Um, what comic book villain do you most closely relate to?
Ooh.
Spectre of the Red Lantern.
You would think. Actually, to be honest, I would be Doctor Doom from Secret Wars. from the old Secret Wars to,
Nice.
basically to behold that power, and then be ballsy enough to think that I could contain that power. And then, basically subvert my will upon whatever's happening to get what I need. And, oh, Galactus, I'm taking your spot.
12-hour car ride. You get one band or one musician to listen to for the entirety of it.
Ooh. Where's the car ride through? The plains or the mountains?
Dealer's choice.
We go through the plains. I would have to say Alan Walker. I really love his music. If we're going through the mountains, it would have to be Sabaton, because that really gets my blood flowing, and then I just drive like 90 mile an hour.
Up the hill, down the hill, round the hill.
Exactly.
All right, Scott, go ahead and give them the rules. But what number am I thinking of?
Wes is going to ask you a question. It is a 3-digit number, and we have not found out if it is a whole number or a decimal. But it's 3 digits. What number is Wes thinking of?
297.
No.
Oh, Grandpappy, you got it wrong.
Will you
a
be at
family trick.
Heroclix on Wednesday?
I am going to be at Heroclix on Wednesday, yes.
So y'all are moving y'all's game night to Wednesday.
Yes.
At, Tier 1?
It will be at Blue Moon.
Blue Moon?
I'm having a hard time right now making it to our Saturday games, so we're going to kind of split it and do Saturday and Wednesdays. I'm going to do events on Wednesdays until I can get back to the weekend. My weekend's freed up, but then the guys will also meet and do their own thing on Saturdays. So
We don't need Wes to practice.
yes, I need to practice.
Yeah, you
rusty.
do. If I make it a red, white, and Clix, I got a match against you.
Lots of practice.
Well, Aaron, that was the Clix questionnaire. Now the whole entire Clix community, all 3 listeners, know you inside and out. How does it feel to be known by the Clix community?
All 3 of them.
I've been telling my wife about this all day, to where she's annoyed whenever I mention the Talkn Clix stuff. She's just like, just go to the room and do your interview.
Stop talking to me already.
No, I'm very, very glad that I got a chance to talk with you guys. I love what everybody's doing with it. I do watch several of the channels. Actually, to take it back, I only watch one that do battle reports and stuff on YouTube. And then, like I said, I try and game as much because I love the game and want to see more people playing it.
Fantastic. Well, Aaron, it's been awesome getting to know you over the last year. I met you shortly after Red, White, and Clix last year, and you were upset because you just missed it. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there this year.
Me too.
So Talkn Clix is brought to you by John Hoffner of Clix Creator. He is a 3D printer that can 3D print anything you can think of. He can 3D print these things, not legally, but he can print them. Dice, tokens, cases, you name it, he can make it. And he does it for super cheap or just straight up Clix trades. So you need anything printed, hit him up. He'll hook you up. Great guy. Well, let's make it. Can you guys hear my wife in the background?
Just a little. I can't understand what she's saying.
She's okay. Anyway, it's very distracting for me. Yes, Clix Creator. Looking forward to Red Wine Clix this year. That's my train of thought. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we sign out?
I'll let Aaron go first.
Well, I kind of final thought a little minute ago, but thanks for having me on. Like I said, I appreciate it, and hope to see some more of you guys in the coming years or whatever, at some of the events.
Awesome.
My final thought is it's on a file in the computer, Zoolander.
42.
42, the answer to everything.
Everything. Life, the universe, and everything. I keep meaning
That's all I got.
I keep meaning to look at that movie again. Make my wife watch it. She hates it, but I love it.
The movie was The books were good.
Movie's better. You know why? Because I don't have to read.
They make these things called audiobooks. Someone reads to you. Superman?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Just reminding you guys.
That's what,
Super
next
lad.
week? Or a week after?
The 11th.
11th. Yes. So 2 weeks. All right.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Maybe we should do like a thing where we watch on the same night and do a live review after or something.
I already got tickets to go the 12th.
Nice. You gonna see Superman, Aaron?
Begrudgingly, yes. Cavill's my favorite Superman.
No.
Barely better than Reeve. He's better in looks, but Reeve was better Superman. So I'll put it that way. But from what I've seen of this new one, I don't really like the ambiance of it. But we'll see how they
Who is the best Clark Kent?
portray it. Ooh, you're not gonna like this one.
The guy from Lois and Clark?
No, Peter Welling, I think his name is, from Smallville.
Oh, Tom Welling. Yes.
Tom Welling, there it is. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
fair.
I was really into that. I'm ashamed to say this, but the last episode, I'm not going to give it away because nobody's seen it, but the last episode, what happens, I was crying.
Okay, it's been almost 20 years. I think that the spoiler alert is...
Someone on here hasn't finished X-Men 97 yet, so...
Okay, it's not been out for 20 years.
97, hello. Granted, it came out last year, but still.
Right now I'm working on Ironheart. I got one episode in. I'm trying to catch up.
Haven't started.
Haven't started either. I'm currently
Never will.
working. Me and the kid are watching just the movies in order. We're getting ready to start Multiverse of Madness.
Hey, good one.
Nice.
All right, John. Well, thank you so much for being here, Aaron. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Scott, as always, I love seeing you every time I get a chance. Your beautiful, flowing locks of hair. So thank you very much for being here.
I got that too. I'm beautiful.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah, beautiful hair. With the real man's haircut. Looks like it's shaved on the side like mine.
Yeah.
I got the military haircut, boys. I can't stand long hair. If it touches my ears, I just can't. Ugh.
Oh, you're going to start calling us hippies now.
All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's been a delight talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you both in the future. And
Yep,
everybody
we'll
out
see
there in Heroclix land, as always,
Keep on Clixing.
keep on Clixing. Have a good night.
Good night.
Night.
Well, I've been called Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden. But what about Jesus? In case you've forgotten, this country we love was built on the good book. So don't go blaming JC if your preacher's a crook. All my brothers with beards, raise up your beards. Let that thing grow out from ear to ear. If you can't see my dimples, I'm so sorry, dear. This ain't no shave November's, no shaving this year. Maxed out IRAs and 401ks with the money I saved on my 3 razor blades. Gonna get me a Harley, beard blowing in the wind, quite legendary like old Abe Lincoln. We got a name for folks without beards, they call them women around here. All my brothers with beards, raise up your beards, let that thing grow out from ear to ear. They say you're so cute, clean shaven, I'm so sorry dear. This ain't no shave November's, no shaving this year. I ain't no Bocephus or David Allen Coe, I ain't no great singer, I was the first one to know. But when I'm on stage singing my song, all the girls rush the front row, cause my beard is so long. All my brothers with beards, raise up your beards, let that thing grow out from ear to ear. If you can't see my dimples, I'm so sorry dear. This ain't no shave November's, no shaving this year. All my brothers with beards, raise up your beards, let that thing grow out from ear to ear. They say you're so cute, clean shaven, I'm so sorry dear. This ain't no shave, no